Welcome to Monday night, folks.
Hello.
And to the Davises Eat, to the Davises Kitchen, and to the Davises.
Yeah,
So
that's us.
that is us. I'm still Nikki. You're
I'm
still Chili.
still Chili.
We have to get all of the introduction out of the way.
Yeah.
So if you're joining us for the first time tonight, thank you. If you are joining us as a regular, thank you. We finished up last week a I would say whirlwind, but it really wasn't. It took all year to do it and then some. A virtual road trip plus across the U.S., exploring regional cuisine and eating some old favorites and new favorites, and maybe one that you didn't like so much.
There were a couple here and there that
So
but I'm picky though. So
I know
Yeah.
you're meat and potatoes,
Yeah, I
and
know.
it's difficult sometimes, folks,
yeah,
to
I get it.
work around that.
I get it. I understand it.
It's I've managed for a handful of years here, but so yeah, we wrapped up. That was season 3 technically.
Technically.
So what are we doing for season 4?
We're cooking the books.
We are cooking the books.
Yeah. So cookbooks, recipe guides. We're just going to cook out of them for a year.
It
Yeah.
well, a year-ish, and then we'll think of some other fun thing to do.
Yeah.
So I have this huge collection of cookbooks, and if you got the newsletter or read the newsletter today, you'll read all about that huge collection of cookbooks. I mean, a handful of them are new, modern, favorite chefs and whatnot, but the vast majority of them are not. They are old. And vintage and a handful of antiques, and that's what we're going to be working from. So
I've got some cocktail guides.
You do, and you have some cocktail guides coming. I mean, you know that now.
I do.
Someone here has been on eBay.
Yeah.
But so yeah, we're going to share
the
collection. I've been searching the books. You're right. We're going to share the collection with you and have some fun and remake some old favorites and maybe some unusual ones, because there were about 20 years there mid-century where things got really weird where food was concerned. But
so what era are we in tonight?
So tonight we are traveling back to 1951.
Oh.
You moved my cookbook on me.
I did.
I put it on my cookbook stand. So give us a shout out if you're watching. This is our favorite recipes compiled by Methodist Church in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, which is 45 minutes from here.
About that, yeah.
So a lot of I'm partial to community and church cookbooks because they tell you what people ate in a specific area,
in a specific time frame.
Yes, and of course they have the names of the people who submitted the recipes. Very frequently, that's the case. I'm not going to share the name with you tonight. However, I am going to share the recipe, and it is for a pork chop bake, which is not all that unusual. But before we get that far, what are we starting with since we're in the 1950s?
Well, in the 1950s, we're going to start with a cosmopolitan.
One of my favorites.
So we've got our favorite, Tito's vodka. We've got a shaker full of ice. And we're going to make this a couple different ways tonight. You can make Cosmos all sorts of different ways, but we're going to make them 2 different ways tonight just because we can. And the first one is just pretty much a basic Cosmo. And we're going to use 2 ounces of vodka, Tito's, and the dogs are barking around already.
Yeah, they heard noises out.
1 ounce of Cointreau, and we always use Cointreau instead of triple sec just because
we like it.
We like the flavor better. Don't go buying.
Use what you want.
Cheap stuff. You can use triple sec if you want to. I'm going to use 1 ounce of cranberry juice.
I feel like I'm standing in your light because I'm in front of it.
Well, you kind of are, but that's okay.
I can move. I'm trying desperately not to run into things.
1/4 ounce
of freshly squeezed lime juice.
Freshly squeezed lime juice. This is Cosmo number 1. Pour that into our cocktail glass. And it's a nice light,
It almost matches the glass.
almost a nice light pink color.
Mm-hmm.
Cosmo recipe number 2. This one calls for a little bit more vodka. We're going to do 3 ounces of vodka. We're going to do our same 1 ounce of Cointreau. Three ounces. This is where it's different. Cranberry. Another 1/4 ounce of lime juice.
That's not very much.
No, it's not very much. It's just a smattering of lime juice.
There's a heap load of acid in there with the cranberry.
Yeah. And then we're going to use some sweetened lime juice. And another 1/4 ounce.
So 2 variations of the same drink. And we'll see which one we like better.
Yeah. And when you're making it at home, you can tell us which one
you like better.
you like better.
I can hear the big girl in the background. That's my guard dog. I have no idea what you're barking at. You don't either.
She doesn't either.
It's noise. We're barking at noise. The color is not a lot different, though.
Not a lot.
Just maybe a tinge pinker.
Just a tinge.
And a lot fuller.
That one's a lot fuller because it has 2 more ounces of cranberry and 1 more ounce of vodka in it.
Right? Oh, sorry. I got your hand in it. Must take pictures when people want recipes. All right, that'll do it to it.
There we go. 2 different Cosmos.
Mila, you're fine.
2 different ways.
Oh, you're going to give me that one? Cheers. Woo! That's got some tartness to it.
Yeah, so that one.
You know what's odd?
What?
Is it tastes like grapefruit to me. Both of them do. That one more so.
That one, I like that one because of the sweetened.
It was sweet. It's a little sweeter.
A little sweeter.
Would you add some a little sweeter to mine?
Well, you can have that one.
I don't care. I'm mostly going to wipe up the
Little mess.
overflow. Yeah, the cranberry and lime together without the little bit of sweetness is really tart. So.
Hi, people.
Hey, kiddo.
I hope my parents are doing their best to make you happy. Does
Oh,
that
yeah.
make me happy?
It's right now. It's Grandma.
Hi, Grandma. Love you.
Ooh, that is tart.
Oh, yeah. It's good, though.
Bye-bye.
So,
Okay, we're down half of one already.
well, I am, yeah, but mine was smaller. and
Okay.
shorter.
So here's what we're gonna do. So here's our cookbook. You'll just have to zoom in. It smells old too, by the way. There you go. I'm gonna start the air fryer.
That's the cookbook.
So the recipe, and if you've ever looked at an old cookbook, the recipes are not written typically how we see them today. So
that one says thick.
four thick pork chops. Well, I have 2 thick pork chops because there's 2.5 of us.
Yeah, and that's all.
And that's all we need.
It is all we need.
So this is a recipe basically, and I've done this a few different ways in my lifetime, but it's essentially thick cut pork chops, dressing on top or stuffing, whichever term you want to use, onion, celery, some sage, some butter, some breadcrumbs on top. This bakes in the oven at 350. I had to look for 1 hour. Now, 1951 ovens. It would not take that long today. I'd say 45 minutes, maybe, depending on how thick your pork chops are. Covered with gravy, beef gravy, which I do think is slightly odd for pork, but that's okay. So we're going to, and this is the whole premise behind all of this cooking of the books. We're going to remake this a little bit for the 2023 kitchen. Do it quickly, or quicker certainly, in an air fryer, because everybody's always asking me how I use my air fryers. Well, this is one way. So we're going to play with the air fryer tonight. But I am going to make the stuffing / dressing topping from scratch. However,
I will continue to drink my cocktail.
you could.
You need to drink your cocktail too.
Okay. Buy a box of stuffing if you wanted to and cheat completely.
Stovetop.
Yes.
Or Great Value, or
Pepper's Farms, or whatever.
Yeah, whatever one you want.
So we're going to maneuver between.
Okay, well, I'm gonna get you over there.
Okay.
Now you're over there.
Okay. So first thing is first. They're fine. You can leave the camera here. I'm going to put about a tablespoon of bacon grease. You could use butter. You could use olive oil in a frying pan, skillet, to at least partially cook our onions and celery. Because we're using an air fryer, I'm just partially cooking to make sure it all gets cooked through. If I were doing this in the oven, I might maybe skip that step, but stuffing's a lot easier to work with when it's cooked already. So, all right, I'm gonna let that melt on low. To that, we're going to add. That didn't take long. Part of an onion. And we are cheating and putting said onion in the food processor. Because we want a tiny dice on this, and it's just much easier in the food processor. And I promise I'll get the food processor out here in a minute. And I'm going heavy on the onion. I've got a whole onion in there, but I have really thick pork chops. So I just cut the small onion in half and threw each half in there. All right, celery, we're going to chop up. One thing I do want you to notice is I've got, kind of see that, celery in a mason jar by the stalk with water. If you put your celery from the store in the plastic bag in your crisper, and you check it 2 or 3 days later, it's probably going to be a limp biscuit. That was the case with this yesterday. It was just like, I don't know, Play-Doh, floppy.
A little soft is what you're telling me. So you had to throw it in some water to firm it up.
If you cut the bottom off, so the celery can start soaking up water. Stick it in a glass, mason jar, whatever, and let it sit for a few hours. It will start to soak that water back up, and it will firm back up and get crispy again. You can also just store your celery this way. Same thing with asparagus. Same thing with lettuce, by the way. All right, so we're just going to chop this up. In leaves and all, by the way. Celery leaves are a little more potent. Yeah, I'm going to use.
I'd hope, because celery is not potent at all.
So 2 big stalks. I'll get that out in a minute. I'm going to move this out of the way. Man, the dogs in the neighborhood are going nuts. Okay, I have very large leaves of basil. We're going to chop up with it. And I have some flat leaf or Italian parsley and some oregano. Mostly I needed to trim my herbs back, so we're going to use them in this tonight. All right, I'm going to move things out of the way. Making enough stuffing to stuff our pork chops. All right, all of that in here. Check to see how small it is. I'm going to do that a little bit more just to make it slightly smaller. Oh, it smells good. All right. So very carefully remove the blade, knock the extra off. We're going to put this in our bacon grease. And then you could use breadcrumbs from, that might be too much, but we're not going to care. If you have too much in the celery and onion category, cook it, save it for omelets tomorrow morning, which is exactly what's going to happen with some of that. As soon as I find something to put it in. All right, breadcrumbs from scratch, easy breezy. One slice of, this is sourdough, but whatever stale bread you have left hanging around. Food processor. Smaller slice.
You need to drink up so that I can top
You
you
need
off
to
over
drink
there.
up. Okay, I need to drink up. Good grief. You're a bad influence, you know it?
Try my hardest.
Ooh. You're supposed to sip Cosmos, not chug a lug.
There you go.
Thank you. It's fine. Actually, I'm going to turn it up. All right, let's see what we turn out with here. Ooh. We're going to keep going a minute because that is some crusty bread. All right, so now I'm just now to like these little pieces here. This is great bread, by the way, sourdough, to make homemade croutons too. All right, we should be okay. It doesn't have to be
That
teeny
looks
tiny.
really good.
Yeah, we're going to put some more butter and oil in this pan.
Oh yeah.
So it does not have to be tiny. Bread will soak up quite a bit. Oh, that smells so good, though.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to pull some of this out to save for omelets or something tomorrow, because that probably was a little bit too much. To that, I'm going to add some butter because we want that bread to soak up some butter flavor.
You go through all the butter? I mean, all the bread?
No, there's a piece left.
Oh.
Why, you want it?
No, I'm just curious. I thought you'd go through all of it.
No, I've got more in there too. All right. A rough tablespoon of butter. We'll use, oh, that smells so good. All right, we're going to add the breadcrumbs to it. Stick everything in the sink to rinse off later. All right, to this, we're going to add some poultry seasoning. You'll probably have it laying around after Thanksgiving, and you only use it once a year, so use it for this. And I also have an herb and onion mix that I'm going to add that's got a little bit of salt in it. You really don't need a lot here because that celery and the onion. You could add garlic if you wanted to. Oh, thank you.
Where'd the lid go?
It's in there. Chili's cleaning my what do you call it? Pressure cooker. Oh my gosh. That thing. Good grief. I'm like half a Cosmo in and I can't think. I don't know how women in the 1950s survived cocktail parties. All right. I'm going to show you another trick just because I can. The hound dogs are not going to be happy with me about this. I have like 5 Ritz crackers left in the sleeve. So if you don't have bread or don't want to deal with breadcrumbs, just leave it.
Okay.
Ritz crackers.
Oh, look at this.
You'll have to give them a dog bone now.
I will.
Ritz crackers do the trick too and add a little bit of butter flavor. All right. Now, last little thing we're going to do. Teeny, teeny, tiny a bit of white wine as opposed to stock. And a teeny, teeny, tiny bit of some olive oil. And that will pull everything together. I'm not really looking for like a ball of stuffing. I just need it to stick together well enough to go inside our pork chops. All right.
Is MJ outside?
No, she might be back with Phoebe.
Okay, the little one gets 2 treats then.
The
little one gets 2 treats then.
Okay. All right, I'm going to remove this from the heat. You want to switch them back over here?
Mm-hmm.
Remove this from the heat so it cools down enough that I can handle it with my hands. All right. Next item up for bid. Oh man, I didn't want it to turn off. I let my air fryer go too long without food in it. All right. It won't take long. All right, pork chops. These are very thick. So we're going to butterfly them, which will help with the cooking time. And these are a good 1.5 inches thick.
At least, yeah.
Yeah, and I showed you how to do this once with chicken breast. Same situation. So we're going to cut about halfway in the middle. Start there. Palm down so you don't cut your hand. And just kind of start slicing. Sharp knife, by the way. Don't slice all the way through. Half an inch to 1/4 inch left on this side. And we have maybe a little bit more. All right, so our stuffing's going to go right here. This is going to go on top. Now, if you wanted to reduce the cooking time, you could pound these out.
No, we're not doing that though.
So same with this one. Actually going to go this direction. When you do butterfly, it's easier to have the straight edge in the center of the butterfly. However, that makes it hard to get through the layer of fat right here.
The fat cap?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, yeah. That knife will handle it.
Oh, yeah. This is one of my favorite knives for this kind of stuff. It's great for this and a great chopper. Yeah, so we're about here. Can they see that?
No, not really, because your arm's in the way.
So I'm about here as far as how far in I've cut. So I don't really have more than not even half an inch. Okay. Dirty knife and sink. Notice red cutting board, raw meat.
Mm-hmm.
Don't cross-contaminate your kitchen. Anybody else talking to us?
No.
Man,
Everybody's awfully quiet tonight. We'll have one viewer right now, though. We had 3 earlier.
mm-hmm. All right. So on the inside of this, we're going to salt, pepper, garlic. Whatever seasoning you want to use here is fine. We'll do that on the outside too. And, whew, still hot. Would you hand me the ice cream scoop, please?
I don't know how many Cosmos your mom's in, but she's spelling a little off. She's all to you. Oh, she'll talk to you. Okay.
Okay, good. Would you hand me the ice cream scoop? Because this is still too hot for my hands. Second drawer. On the side, big one. That one. Well, okay, that's fine.
Well, I'll
Okay.
get you a bigger one.
No,
Here you go. Here. Too late.
it's fine. No biggie. This is still a little on the warm side here.
I still think she's a couple Cosmos in.
She might be.
I think I perfected it, though.
Oh, good.
I didn't use the regular lime. I used only the sweetened lime.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we still have a little extra stuffing here, but I'm afraid if I overstuff, it's just going to fall to pieces.
Try that one.
Okay. Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, so we have these nice little packets. Close it. If you want to toothpick it here, you can. If you'll hand me a toothpick, I can toothpick them closed. Thank you. And because they're so thick, I'm not going to do anything other than stick the toothpick through it. I'm really just concerned about making sure it stays down. You could also tie them if you wanted to, but honestly, it's dinner, not culinary school. So I'm not overly concerned. Okay. Now, Chili Bean, this is where I need your assistance.
Okay.
So I don't have to wash my hands. Would you, nope, not yet. Right here. Would you oil them up a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
Just a wee bit, so I'll rub it in. There you go.
You
And
want to flip them?
we can. And if you lose some stuffing, no biggie. And salt and pepper. And I'll flip them again. Can do it right there.
I was looking for it.
Now, in the air fryer, these will take about 15 minutes. In a standard oven, we're looking at 45 to an hour. So when folks are asking me, I don't know if you can see me or just my hands, but folks are asking me to help them figure out how to use their air fryer. This is one of the ways I do use mine all the time. Because it really does cut down, sorry, our backs are to you, but
Well, they
it
can't
really,
see that at all.
okay. Well, then you
it's on
can't
number
see what we're
4.
doing anyway. Okay, pop it down. And if you'll reduce the time to 15, I'd appreciate it. We'll get you guys back on the camera here in a second. Going to wash my hands real fast.
There we go.
Thank you.
Grandma Debbie, so do I. The sweet lime juice is definitely better.
Yeah, I think so. Oopsie.
Which is what this one is. I just left this out completely. So this one is 3 ounces vodka, 3 ounces cran, 1 ounce Cointreau, ½ ounce roses, sweetened lime juice.
Yeah, I seriously don't know how we survived cocktail parties in the 1950s.
Oh.
If we were drinking those, woo, mercy.
Hey.
Maybe there was a reason we were drinking those.
I believe so.
Okay, this is pork free. Oh, so good. Mm. So this is probably closer to equal parts vegetable and breadcrumb or bread, as opposed to like a Thanksgiving turkey stuffing, which is mostly bread.
They're
But
all probably going, man, you're almost out of vodka.
no, we're not. We have more vodka downstairs
No.
or somewhere.
We have more vodka in the other room
We bought more.
because we knew what we were having tonight.
Mm-hmm. That was yummy.
Yep, that bottle's gone.
Okay.
That bottle's empty.
All right. Now, next recipe is not out of a cookbook. It is simply a side dish to what we're making.
This bottle is completely full.
I would say you're bourbon, I'm scotch.
Yeah.
But beyond that, vodka is what we go through the fastest for this show.
Oh, yeah.
We have a lot of
Well,
whiskey and vodka drinks.
vodka's it's a nice, clean drink.
Yeehaw. Okay.
Yeah. Because I like rum, but
What did I
I'm
do
like
for
one of
butter?
the only people in the household that likes rum.
Did you put the butter away?
Yes, I did.
Ah, that's why.
Do you need the butter?
I need the butter. That's okay. I can wait. We've got 15 minutes over here, so we're good. Danke.
You're very welcome.
So you talk about your drink some more if you want to.
Well, I'm
Or you're just making another one.
just making another one.
Okay.
3 ounces of vodka, 3 ounces of cranberry, 1 ounce Cointreau. Now, if we do run out of that, which we won't tonight, we don't have another bottle of it in backup.
We do not. We do have triple sec though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But we have it. Okay. So moving on. We're going to do green beans because that's one of my favorite. This is all very kind of Thanksgiving-esque, I'm realizing, but that's okay. Green beans, one of my favorite dishes for
Drink up.
in combination. You seriously, dude? This is why I didn't date you in college.
Sorry.
You want me to stick a straw in it?
If it'll help.
Here. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So anyway, green beans, one of my favorite side dishes to go with a pork main. So I'm going to do a quick green bean saute in skillet, butter, shallot, white wine, and that will eventually create a pan sauce. And if you wanted, you guys tell me if you want more of a pan sauce to go over the pork that we're eating. I'm happy to do that too and show you how to make one.
Grandma Debbie says in 1951, pork was not the other white meat. So that's might be why the gravy was brown beef.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
It was also cooked to death, quite
Yeah.
literally. And that's something else as I'm sitting here waiting for the pork to be done. You'll find old recipes that tell you to cook the pork until it's like, a hockey puck.
Yeah. Don't do that.
You don't need to do that anymore. The way we process pork is much cleaner and much safer today than it was 70 years ago.
You're over there now.
Thank you. I'm cutting a shallot. So pork, 145 is what USDA is going to tell you, an internal temperature of 145. I will tell you that I'm happy to cook it to 135 to 140 without any issues. But again, USDA is going to tell you higher than that.
Your mom thinks I'm definitely a bad influence. She says, oh, thank goodness for that. You'd never have made it through college.
Oh, I would have made it because he made it.
I made it.
And let's not forget that I made it through calculus because of Chili Davis. Good grief. I've got a shallot here that's giving me some grief. The peel is not happy with me. If you don't have shallot, a sweet onion would be fine. Onion would be fine. It's just a stronger flavor. I like shallots and white wine.
I do too.
If it doesn't cooperate, and this was my lonely last little shallot, so I don't have much choice here.
I turned your butter down because it was.
Thank you for turning my butter down,
You're
baby.
welcome.
All right. We're going to cut in half. Shallots are teeny tiny, so if you need a teeny tiny knife and not a chef's knife, go for it. But I just hold each side and cut down through the middle into slices. And then just dice it up.
She says, "Oh, forgot that you needed him to get through math." She takes the mean comment back.
Yeah. If it wasn't for math, we wouldn't have met. And if it wasn't for my inability to do math.
Yeah, I know. It was calculus. I mean,
I don't think I've ever used calculus since.
of course you haven't.
I mean, really.
I haven't used calculus since.
So why were we there?
It's because it's a required college course.
Oh, only for business majors.
Yeah. We were both business majors.
We were.
Yeah.
Accounting and marketing.
Yep.
And only a semester apart.
Not really a semester.
Well, I mean, you graduated in the summer.
Well, it's because I switched majors.
That's true. You did. And I'm glad that you did.
Yeah.
I'm going to, let's see.
I should have graduated a year before you did, but
Meh. Okay. We're going to let the shallot cook just long enough to get a little happy. A little translucent. I'm going to put some olive oil in here. Now, you could do this with like fresh green beans. I would blanch the green beans first. Otherwise, it's going to take them a little bit longer to cook. Or cheat like I did and use frozen green beans because the 1950s were all about convenience foods. Largely about convenience foods. So I opted for frozen green beans because that's what I had in the house. One thing I will tell you, I thawed them, drained them, and have patted them dry. So they are relatively dry. I would not throw them right from the freezer bag into the pan because that will shoot up painful buttery sparks on your skin.
Mm-hmm.
And these are whole green beans, even though you see some in here that are broken up. Okay, I'm going to check the temp on this pork while those are starting to fry.
You still got 5 minutes left.
I know.
All right.
Ooh. I sort of have 5 minutes left. No, they're done.
Really?
Oh, yeah, they're done. So that took 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I butterflied them and stuffed them with mostly pre-cooked stuffing. So in the air fryer, they took, I think maybe 11 minutes. It was close to that. And they're done. And in the oven, they would have easily taken 30 to 45, depending on how thick you ended up with.
Butterfly them, yeah.
So hence why I love my air fryer.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I am going to let these kind of,
Delicious.
I really want to kind of fry these a little bit to get some of the moisture out so they get a good bite to them. I am going to clean this up though, so I have some maneuvering space. Whee! These are dangerous. Like, can you see me in a 1950s, like,
I can't see you drinking a lot of those. No. No.
with the cute little shoes and the little poofy
Mm-mm.
skirts and,
God,
you know, like June
no.
Cleaver walking around? Yeah, no, me neither.
No.
I'm either 1940s or 1970s.
Yeah. No, I did find the perfect recipe though.
You did.
Yeah, with
Oh yeah,
just
you
the sweetened.
did you say it out loud so when I
Yeah.
replay I can catch it? Okay.
The 3 ounces of tequila, 3 ounces of cranberry, 1 ounce of Cointreau, and half ounce of the sweetened lime juice.
Salt, pepper, really all you need here because I have herb and onion mixed out. That's what I'm going to use. So again, change this up just because the recipe says one thing. The whole idea behind cooking is to not follow the recipe as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, it's same thing with cocktails. Find what you want.
Find what works and use
Experiment
it.
a little bit.
All right.
You've got a base.
So here's my question. Do you want...
I want you to turn that mixer on so that it
cleans
cleans
itself?
itself, yes.
You had it all messed up.
That's what I want.
Happy?
I'm very happy now.
Okay. Yes, I have self-cleaning appliances.
Well, when I set them to be that way, yes.
I know. I am warm.
What's my question?
I don't know what your question
Do
is.
I want what?
How thick of a sauce do you want? Is what I'm wondering.
A light.
Okay. So that being the case, we
want white wine. I mean, that for sure.
No, well, yeah. I'm going to use... Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how sweet this is. I'm going to use a Riesling.
Yes.
Because it's a little bit drier than the other white wine I have. Maybe a tablespoon in there, not much. I mean, this is like 1 bag of green beans. I like the steamable green beans from the grocery store. More after flavor here, not really a sauce like you would pour over.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to let these cook until that evaporates. Then it will just give it a nice little butter, shallot, garlicky wine. Watch out, Shiggy. I am warm.
Well, yeah.
Okay. I was asking what camera they were on.
That one.
So they're watching green beans cook?
They're watching green beans cook.
Okay, good.
Huh. And get stirred.
So I'm going to pull a pork chop out of here so they can see it.
Oh, man.
Oh, I was going to do...
These green beans smell scrumptious.
Sorry, guys. Oh, well, you guys, you can kind of see me. I need a plate. I'm just giving you a regular plate, dude.
That's fine.
I've got the fancy plate.
Yeah.
I thought about getting out the 1950s Corral.
Yeah.
Yes, folks, I have plates from the 1950s and 60s, and, you know, that's just how it goes. These are beautiful. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know that the oven would produce that.
I'm going to shove them over there.
Yeah. Oh, those are so good. Because the one thing that an air fryer does really well, and I do have a Ninja Foodie air fryer, so I can do lots of things in it. One thing it does really well is this nice brown, and the olive oil didn't hurt that process. The but that's what we have. And there we go. And I'll try to lift it up a little bit so you can see.
That
So
looks
stuffing's nice
so
and
good.
golden. It's nice and moist on the inside. Helps keep your pork moist. Olive oil helps keep it moist on the top.
Mhm.
These are done.
Oh yeah.
They're going to be hot though, so be careful when you bite into one. But
Yeah.
where are we going?
Back over there.
Okay. So pretty simple. And whoop, there we go. Sorry. I have issues trying to get things underneath the lens of the phone.
Mhm.
So stuffed pork chop, no gravy. We skipped the gravy from the recipe. Remade from a 1951 community cookbook recipe. Green beans, just as a side, nothing out of the cookbook, but certainly simple enough to make. So, bon appetit.
Mhm.
Plus a Cosmo.
Oh yeah. Plus a Cosmo. Couple
Oh,
of different
knife and
ways.
fork.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going there.
Like, I don't know how many different ways he made the Cosmo by the end of the
3 different ways.
knife and fork.
I'm getting there.
He's getting there. Thank you.
One
It is
knife,
warm in
one
here, though.
knife, 1 fork, 1 fork.
There you go. I'll let you cut into it. Now, when you cut into it, you'll squish out some stuffing.
yeah.
There's no getting around that.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Remember to remove the toothpick though before you serve. Now, the recipe actually called for the stuffing to be on top, covered with gravy. That was in an effort to keep pork moist. Don't necessarily, I mean, it would be delicious, but you don't necessarily need to do that today. If you did, I would use the chicken gravy. And go.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Mm. That is very good.
So, don't shy away from old cookbooks if they're handed down to you. Okay.
Mhm.
Or if you have them in your collection, look through the recipes. They're easy to remake using modern technique. Well, technique's a bad word, but
Technology.
certainly modern technology. And we did a 1 hour recipe
Yeah.
from 1951. And
we're at 49 minutes.
I mean, we're at 45 minutes, but the pork itself took 15 to cook. So not even like 11. So,
That's
yeah,
good.
it's so good.
Mhm.
By the way, like from here on out this year, things that we make on the show, there's a good chance I've not made them exactly the same way before.
Mhm.
Which is one of the delightful parts about cooking.
Yeah.
You learn a couple of techniques and you can remake it any way you want to. While roasting in the process. Yeah, here, I'm just going to take that one right off the fork. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're
That's
frozen
good.
green beans, but they're good.
They're good. They're
Maybe
delicious.
a teeny bit more salt, but
Yeah.
beyond that.
That's
they're
delicious.
Good. All right, that's it for tonight.
That's all, folks.
So Cosmos from 1951, pork from 1951.
Yeah. Modernized.
Yeah, quickly.
Yeah.
Delicious. I'm going to go get a kid and sit down and eat dinner and figure out what we're going to fix next week.
Yeah, you never know. Because all we're doing is cooking the books.
We are definitely cooking the books. It's so funny given your profession.
I know.
The finance guy here. 2 things before we leave.
Oh, yeah. Cosmos, Robert.
Yeah,
They're
Cosmos.
really good Cosmos, too.
I think we need an Instagram channel, Robert.
Nope. It ain't happening.
Most of the cookbooks that we're cooking from are vintage, meaning they're over 20 years old, but less than 100 years old, kind of like us.
Yeah.
We're vintage, technically.
Oh yeah.
Oof.
Our marriage is vintage.
Oh, it is.
It is. Yeah, I know.
Wow. I do, however, have a handful of antique cookbooks. So antique technically is that 100-year mark and over.
Mhm.
That's what we're going to be working from, and it's kind of a fun thing to see what folks are eating, and we'll share the recipes and the stories, and after we cool down and
Yeah.
stop drinking Cosmos.
Oh, we're not going to stop drinking Cosmos.
Oh, yes, we are. Yes, we are.
No.
Yeah, we are.
But Robert, should we keep drinking Cosmos tonight?
He is the wrong person to ask.
There's a reason why I asked him.
Yes, I'm well aware. All right. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching the entertainment of the vintage couple here.
Thank you, everybody.
We will see you next week. Have a good week, folks.
Bye.
You're killing me.